Sitting back after your book has been published, what was your feeling when you first held your book in your hand?
The great feeling of joy and accomplishment.
Yeah, it must have been great. What did your friends and family think about your book?
Well, considering that most of my friends and family were following me since the inception of Thank You Thursday, which was back in 2008, they were nagging me to say, you have to create this, you have to turn this into a book. This is so helpful and so beneficial. Never stop writing. And so it was actually, with the love and joy and support of my family that helped me to push to publish. So, of course, without them, without their support and nagging me as they do, it wouldn't have been possible.
During the writing of your book, Thank You Thursday, did you ever have writer's block? And if so, how did you overcome it?
There have been moments where there were instances of writer's block. For me to overcome it, I allowed myself to sit in a quiet place and meditate and come up with different topics to write about every week. So that way I always have something to write about, always something on deck, and we're ready to go.
And what chapter was it that gave you the most joy? Because talking to people over all these years, specifically authors, they all have one favorite chapter. The chapter that was la pièce de résistance, the icing on the cake. Which was your chapter and why?
See, being an author and a lover of words and poetry, there's not one in particular that I love. I love them all for different reasons. But the one that stands out for me, as I mentioned earlier, is the one persistence of inspiration. That one I definitely say.
Tell us about that.
So the persistence of inspiration, how it came to me was I was at a point in allowing myself to express different ways to show people and how they can allow more creativity in their life and to listen to the voice, to the silent voice that we always get saying that we should do this or we should do that or this way or not that way. It's that little voice that always inspires us and guides us into creating more, into doing more, and keeps us safe from making bad choices. So that one little voice is key. And that's what that entry is about. It talks about how we just open ourselves up to that.
Have you always written about inspiration and gratitude?
Oh goodness, no. I started out writing. I started out writing in high school about science fiction and horror.
Really?
Yeah, that was my story because I am a huge graphic novel fan, particularly of some DC and Marvel comics.
Oh yeah.
Being in high school. Yeah, that's how I got my start. So, no, I haven't always written about that. It wasn't until, I think, my sophomore or junior year till I really got interested in poetry and learned all about it, the different ways you can write it and how to speak it and it was just amazing. And from there, it just developed into the love of words.
Who is your favorite author? Who is your favorite poet?
Well, one of my favorite poets actually recently passed was Maya Angelou. She was definitely one of my favorite poets because of the simplicity of her words and the placement of her words was so empowering to everyone who read them. Because everyone could relate to her story. And it wasn't a story that we all wouldn't know if we didn't walk down the street. It was a story of just someone wanting to be who they authentically are, being true to themselves. And that's what I loved about her.
You're writing your book, you're sitting down, you have all this inspiration inside of you. Does it just flow? Does it just pour out? And how long it took you? How many years to write your book?
Well, for the first book, it took me a year because I do plan on releasing other volumes because this is the first one. But there are days where the inspiration just pours out of me. I just have to have a pen and paper. One personal story that I will share with you. I'm coming home from work. It's about maybe 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. Dead tired, dead to the wind.
Right.
Have my music playing in my ears. And this song comes on that just motivates me, just says something just has to come out. So I pull out my pen and my small notebook and begin writing. And usually I don't start writing. I always come up with the title first. But this time it was just pouring out of me like water into the sink. That's how fast it was coming out of me. And then my train stop comes up. I get off the train, and I find the nearest bus stop I can sit at to finish. and once I'm done, I walk the rest of the way home. But typically it just pours out of me. And then there are other times I have to sit and meditate and allow the words to flow, because the words to me are the most important in what they say in the order of the words.
Well, you know the old saying, the tongue is mightier than the sword.
Yes.
And if it wasn't for beautiful words and poets, Hallmark wouldn't be in business. And there's nothing that my mom or my wife love is a beautiful card with some beautiful words. It shows the person that you really care. And I think that's what a poet does. It allows people to use their words to get their meaning and their message across. Would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, definitely agree. I could tell you a story, I believe when I got into my late teens, early 20s, and anytime it was somebody's birthday in my household, and my grandmother would always send me to the grocery store or the drugstore to pick out a card for them, because she always pick out the most beautiful cards.
Hillis, we've got to take our news break. Please stand by. Exonation, Hillis Pugh is our special guest. www.hillispugh.com. We're talking about his book. Thank you, Thursday. And Hillis and I will be back on the other side of the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away. Are you considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X Zone radio show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X Zone radio show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
This is Elizabeth Joyce with Stargazing, week of June 2nd to June 8th on the X-Zone. There's plenty of romantic energy in the agenda this week, even if you might not be able to think straight. June is relatively quiet compared to the last 2 months. The only big issue is Mercury turning retrograde June 7th through July 1st. The communication breakdown cycle begins in Cancer, the sign of family, food, home, and emotions. Then it goes backwards into mental Gemini. Plan to do a lot of short, quick projects this month rather than taking on something excessive. It would be good to catch up with old friends or to learn something new. This is the final month of Jupiter in Cancer. The purpose has been to create a life that includes more nurturing, both for yourself and others. Monday the 2nd is particularly a good day for sharing with others. Remember that Mercury turns retrograde at the end of the week, so take care of communications and date scheduling now. On Wednesday, the love planet Venus in Taurus will embrace enchanting Neptune in a supportive sextile. This aspect guarantees that Earth and water signs will enjoy succumbing to the hypnotic spell of their sweetheart. Creative pursuits are also favored. There are 2 grand trines on Thursday the 5th. This is auspicious, but it moves through very quickly. Do something nice for yourself. One triangle is the feeling of water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. The other is the practical earth signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Be productive, but make sure your emotions are engaged in projects towards the end of the week. And on Friday, the Sun is in Gemini, and that will be a supportive link to Uranus. High voltage energy, along with clever ability to move forward in your progressive personal agenda, will become second nature. Everyone will enjoy focusing on what promotes their individual expression. In fact, this is what will make you come alive. The moon is in social Libra for the weekend. Confirm your plans and practice adaptability because Mercury turns retrograde on Saturday. That trickster planet is ready to cause trouble again. Mercury retrograde begins in sentimental Cancer, but will spin backward until July 1st. You might spend more time strolling down memory lane or dwelling on a family situation you wish you could do over. If you open your heart into it, maybe you can.
And for more information on Elizabeth Joyce, or if you'd like to contact Elizabeth for a one-on-one private consultation, her website is www.new-visions.com. That's www.new-visions.com. Or you can send an email to Elizabeth at her email address, which is elizabeth.joyce.gmail.com. X-Zone Nation, my guest this hour is Hillis Pugh. He is the author of Thank You Thursday, and his website is www.hillispugh.com. Hillis, first of all, thanks very much for joining us tonight. It's great having you with us. And I was wondering if you could read us a couple of poems from your book.
Definitely, Rob. I'll be more than happy to. So the first poem I am going to read from my book is called Solitude. I am a painter of words. The pen is my brush, the paper is my easel, painting mental images of serene beauty, love that was, is, and will be. Someone knocks on my door of thoughts, interrupting my flow. Now there you go. Gracing me with your presence, rearranging my thoughts, lost in my train, composing my themes of this present human being, a classical tale of prose unraveled, dazzled by the notes played, the words written, and the images produced. Caught up with my train, alone with my thoughts,